Hello, so I'm back with an assignment overview for assignment 4. Assignment 4 is due on July 30th by 11:30 p.m. It is also rated at 15% of the final mark and is made of several questions. So, question 1. How has the evolution of digital technology affected active records management? Describe both benefits and limitations. So in the last few weeks of the course, we focus on electronic records. How do we apply active records management principles to a format that is changing in an ever dynamic way? Every year we seem to find new innovation, new ways of doing things in organizations, and it does present opportunities and challenges in how we manage our active records. That's really what the first question is about. It's valued at 10 points. So, looking at the evolution, how digital technology has changed over time and how it's continuing to change, and how has that affected active records management? Let's talk about the benefits and the limitations, the challenges that it's presented us with. Question 2. What are 2 benefits of using a records management system, an RMS or an ERMS or content management system? There are a number of abbreviations used for that, in how we manage files. Provide an explanation of each. So I'm looking for 2 benefits. This question is worth 5 marks. 2 benefits of using a records management system. Provide an explanation of each. I would anticipate seeing 2 paragraphs in your response. 1 benefit, explanation. 2nd benefit, explanation. Okay? Question 3. In terms of email-based records, what are the technological and the cultural challenges to effective retention and disposition? So, email-based records, we have an entire lecture that's looking at email records. By the time you get to the assignment, we will have an opportunity to chat about email records in chat, and you will have learning activities. So to explore this idea, these challenges related to email records, and we're looking for technological and cultural challenges. This is worth 10 points. So like question 2, I would anticipate having 2 sections, maybe not 2 paragraphs, but 2 sections. One can focus on the technological issues related to managing managing email-based records, in terms of retention management and disposition, so the technological aspects and the cultural challenges that are related to managing active records in email. And again, retention and disposition, what we're looking for here. Question 4 is worth 5 points. Drawing on the course lectures, so you're not restricted to just the lectures related to electronic records management. But drawing on course lectures, describe the major challenges for records managers in the context of electronic record keeping. So this is a little more broad. It's worth 5 points, so I'd expect about a half a page response for this response. Really it's wide open for you. Final question is a case study. It is worth, as per usual, 20 points. So scenario, you've been successful so far as the records manager for a company called Renaissance Outfitters. While the company has previously implemented a records management function, they have only done so for paper records. The company has no guidelines, policies, or procedures for managing electronic records of any kind. As a result, electronic records are being managed by individual staff in their own ways without any knowledge of records management principles. Additionally, a competitor of Renaissance Outfitters was hit with a massive lawsuit alleging inappropriate use, disclosure, and management of personal information. A box without a lid and containing some of their clients' private records was found sitting next to trash bins, and a passerby alerted the provincial privacy commissioner. To make matters worse, a disgruntled employee used the crisis to make a competitor's day-to-day information management practices public. The employee complained to several media outlets that the company actively disregarded privacy legislation. Their electronic mail system was subpoenaed, and all emails are currently being scrutinized by lawyers for wrongdoing. The CEO of Renaissance Outfitters is concerned about what kinds of information may be contained in the electronic records of Renaissance Outfitters and how they are being managed. He's also concerned about whether there are any safeguards that could be put in place to protect this information. He's asked you to develop an email policy for the company. So here's what you need to do. Create an email management policy for email messages and their attachments. This scenario is intended as an opportunity for you to show how you would provide direction to staff in managing email. It's not expected that students will know necessarily how to write a policy. That's not the point of this particular question, or whether you've previously written policies. What I'm looking for is the content rather than formatting, okay? So ensure that your policy includes A, the appropriate definitions and guidelines on what constitutes a record and what constitutes an email record. B, roles and responsibilities for staff and managers. C, appropriate and inappropriate use of email. D, requirements for legal admissibility of evidence, and you want to look at the Evidence Act for that. E, basic requirements for PIPEDA. Now remember, PIPEDA deals with private sector, which this organization likely is part of. F, security and confidentiality considerations. So if you need guidance on how to write a policy, there are examples of information management policies that I'll post to the resources folder in the discussion board, and of course you can always do a Google search for email management policy or records management policies to get an idea of the kind of language used. While it's not necessarily a goal to create the perfect policy, you could strive to that direction. I have to say that every position I've held as a records professional has included writing, reviewing, and updating policies. So this is something that those of you hoping to go into this field will have to look forward to. So again, while it's not the intention that every student will know necessarily how to write a policy, students in this course should know what kinds of parameters would be included, or attributes, the kind of content we would look for including in this kind of policy. The assessment guidelines, so content and creative thinking, roughly 75% of the mark. Writing, communication, so that's professional writing, clear writing, grammar, word choice, spelling, that's 25% of your mark. So again, 12-point font size, Times New Roman, single spaced, unless you're using a table. Don't need to use a title page. We should be having a chat, well, a couple chats really, prior to the deadline for this assignment, and you'll have plenty of time to consider your thinking behind this assignment, because this is the final assignment before we start our examination. So again, 3 ways of getting in touch with me to clarify any questions on this exam or expectations. So send me an email, post it to the discussion board, post it in the chat, okay? Good luck on this assignment. Bye.